gets its first teaser. Donkey Kong Country HD reviews are in, and more games are rumored for Switch 2. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. What's up and welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, January 14th, 2025. Of course, I am Tim Geddes, and I'm joined today by Parris Lilly.
How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. It's always a good time when you and I get to do KFGD.
So rare. So
Yes.
upsettingly rare.
Yes.
Also, having you in the studio, always a fantastic time. I love having you at the desk. I feel like you get so much happier when you get to actually be here.
Oh, 100%.
Doing shows
I
with
love
everybody.
it here.
Yeah. How you doing overall?
I'm good. Yesterday was great. Game of the Year episode. And,
Fantastic stuff. Of course, you could check that out
yeah.
now. We did our Game of the Year yesterday, and all this week we're going to be doing our personal top 10s, including today,
That's
you
right.
and Greg,
Me and Greg.
which I'm really excited about.
Number 7. I can't wait to reveal
And
number
see,
7.
let's talk about this. Let's talk about this for a second because first off, I hate Greg Miller. He
Yep.
causes so
Me too.
much problems
Yep.
all the goddamn time. I wasn't on the KF podcast yesterday because I was on other shows, and then I had to actually do business stuff and you know, get some fucking work done. Greg, figure it out, okay? He's having fun with you and Nick on the KF podcast. He gives me the headline of the KF podcast, and it is Parris Lilly has beef with Tim Geddes.
Yep.
And of course, I immediately roll my eyes, and I'm just like, what did Greg cause? Like, what could have possibly happened here? And on the drive into work, me and my brother listened to the opening of the episode just because I wanted context. I was like, I know it's bullshit, but like, what is it? What is it? So, I mean, dude, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Do you have anything to say?
I don't have beef with you. It was a struggle. You heard it. I was
Yeah.
like, I liked him.
I know.
I liked him, so I had to make
very quickly. You very quickly. My brother was like, "Oh, he got there fast. He got there fast." No, but like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because one of your beefs was that on the Game of the Year episode yesterday,
Yes.
that I gave you a weird look.
Yes.
That looked like I didn't respect you or something. And I want it clear. There was one weird look. And that weird look was about your number 7. So you know how not worth respect it is. Because that's my thing. You brought it up in a way that I'm like, it can only be one thing. But it can't possibly be that one thing.
I had to make it fun.
I
it had to be fun.
I respect
But I will say, it was, God, I don't remember what KFGD it was, but it was you and Blessing. And I called in, and we're talking about console sales and all that. And the comments ripped me to shreds, but whatever.
I mean, that's my thing. See, I remember that, and I don't take anything back. You were saying wild shit. You say wild shit. I'm gonna respond. I respect the fuck out of you, and I love your takes and perspective on stuff. But when you're saying some shit, I'm like, no, bro, no.
No, I look. I deserved it. But we had to have some kind of beef.
Oh, you
so
got it.
I made a beef.
Exactly.
I deserve that one.
I love it though, and obviously.
Yeah.
I love the fuck out of you. Respect the shit out
me
of
too.
you.
Love
Yeah,
you
but
to
I
death.
can't wait to hear what your number 7 is because, like,
it's going to be great.
It's going to be great,
wait.
everybody. But hey, that's not what we're talking about right now. Right now, we're talking about Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news that you need to know about live on you. Oh, my God.
Brave man talking shit about me, thinking I won't hear. This is how it can happen at any point. I want your stars. Get some stars and give them to me.
Oh, God.
This is just what I need to live with at all times.
I had no idea he was about to do that. That like literally scared me.
We don't ever know.
Yeah.
It is
I'm
very
like,
scary.
where did
And
he
now
come
my
from? I
ears
didn't
wet.
see him walk from there. Like, where'd he go? Is there a secret door or something?
Ew, did he make contact?
Oh, he made a lot of contact. Yeah.
Oh, I looked
man.
away when he
Wait a
got his
minute.
tongue out.
It's enough contact that it dripped down to my earlobe, okay?
Oh, he's making faces now.
God. I don't even have stars. The season hasn't even started yet. There's nothing. The threats is an empty one. I hate it. But I love this show, everybody. And also, I love you loving what we do. Supporting us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon, YouTube, and now Spotify and Apple Podcasts to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be part of this show, though, you can submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube Super Chats. So if you have any questions for Parris, any just compliments for Parris, please send them our way. A little housekeeping for you. We've been teasing something big coming this Wednesday, and now we can actually tell you what it is. Tomorrow, on Wednesday, you'll be able to see a very special Kinda Funny Gamescast. After 31 years at PlayStation, Shuhei Yoshida is out on his own, and his first stop, the Kinda Funny Gamescast. Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, Shu is going to sit down with Greg to talk about his career, the Vita, and his future. Don't miss it live on YouTube and Twitch, and then later on podcast services. It's going to be a very special episode. How cool is that?
Oh, no, it's awesome. That's awesome. I'm excited to tune in myself and check it out.
And congratulations to Shu on an amazing run over at PlayStation. Yeah, but can't wait to hear that myself as well. And then a lot of y'all have made comments about the Kinda Funny anniversary logo, the 10-year anniversary logo, the water bottle and notebook that we got for the team. So the new anniversary merch collection is now available on kindafunny.com/store. You can get the notebook, you can get a water bottle, and you can get it on a t-shirt in 2 colorways, the blue and the orange. Both look fantastic. Shout out to Campfire Designs for killing the design. Remember, we are an 11-person business, all about live talk shows. Today, after Games Daily, you'll get Gamescast, that is Greg and Parris, dropping their Game of the Year top 10s. And then the stream. Here's the thing. I think Greg's going to get way more shit than you do about your list.
Oh, no. He 100% is.
Yeah,
100% is. But my number, we're going to have a fun conversation about number 7.
I love it as the two of you as well.
Yeah.
Man, gold
Yes.
approaching everybody. And then the stream after that, oh, man. Hard to explain, but you're going to want to be there. Roger, Joey, and Nick are going to flex their movie knowledge in a new game. There's this sensation sweep in the nation of the Kinda Funny Studios where Nick is addicted to some Wordle-type movie game.
Yeah.
And will not leave Roger alone. Like, I don't know why he needs Roger to be a part of this. He could just be like a solo.
I don't think he knows the website.
That's the thing. It's literally something that simple, but Nick will just
Also, he can't type and hold the football at the same time.
You guys are about to learn a lot about the recent culture of this studio. But yeah, no, real talk, there's this game they're playing, and it is a blast. It's like a movie connection game.
Yeah.
Cine to Nerdle, people are saying, is what it's called. They could work on the name, but, it's fine. Anyway, check that out after the Gamescast. Great day of content here. We already got a super chat in here from Send Nuggies demanding a Parris emote here in the KF chats, if he allows it.
I've been seeing that for a while.
Yeah.
I think it's time.
I think it's time too. Yeah. If anybody's listening that can make that happen, please do.
Please.
Greg, talk to Andy. Andy, talk to Roger. Roger, talk to Joey. I don't know exactly how the whole emote process works, but we need to do it.
Hey, I have another request, and I'm going to look right in the camera as I say it. Greg Miller, where's my bottle and controller?
A good question.
You always talk about an 11-person studio. I hear this all the time, and I get it. You are an 11-person studio, but you're really 11.5. And that's me. I'm the 0.5. I at least want a controller. Or no, I just want a water bottle. I got enough controllers. Can I get the water bottle? Please.
Get this man a water bottle, Greg.
Please.
Jeez. Oh, man. If you're a Kinda Funny member, of course, you also get today's Gregway. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Lady Twan.
I'll order the water bottle right now.
See? It worked.
None for Gary.
Yeah.
Thank you to our Patreon producers, Lady Twining and Carl Jacobs. Today we're brought to you by BetterHelp, ExpressVPN, and MeUndies, but we'll tell you all about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 6 stories today.
Bigger than.
You got cut up there, little Kev. The first story, the first teaser for Until Dawn, the movie, is here. We're going to live react to this. Parris, are you an Until Dawn guy?
Not really.
Yeah, I played the first, loved the first. We did it on stream, but I am not like the Until Dawn expert by any means. Greg Miller, come back. We actually want you now.
Yeah, see?
It's time. Yeah, because Greg's a little higher on the knowledge of the retaining the characters and all of that stuff here. So I want him to come out to react to this thing as well. But I'm excited that the movie's happening. I want to see this. Because the story of the game, I like a whole, bunch of teen horror type situation. Mm-hmm. Good vibes all around.
Forgot that I was actually doing something real on the show.
Good.
Sorry about that. Sorry, I licked you so good.
Yeah, you look really, really good. So Greg,
I'll do the Nick.
Are you hyped about this?
No, but
Why?
not because I love horror movies. So let's see how seriously they're taking this. What is this actually going to be? Right? The game was great. The story for the game was great. A little too long, as most of the horror video games are.
The movie could solve that.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm interested. I am cautiously optimistic.
Okay. Let's see it.
Sorry, give me 2 seconds. I needed one more moment here. I'm trying to fix it.
Just think this is what it's like for Nick all the time.
Being down
You know
there.
what I mean?
Yeah.
No wonder he picks up so much change. You can see it so much easier,
picks up change.
Yeah, like pennies and
down there
dimes and
already.
stuff. It's so close. Oh my God, you never saw this? I never understood why, but it's clearly because he's so close to the sidewalk, he can see all the money on the ground. I thought he was just cheap, but it's just like when it's all,
Thank you for filling time.
This is why he names ants.
I was a huge fan of the Until Dawn game and how cinematic it was. I thought a lot about how we can continue the story without just giving the audience the same experience that they got when they were playing.
The movie has sort of the same tone and the same vibe, but it expands upon the universe.
I'm very proud to be part of this evolution onto a screen.
One of the creative things the game did is that people make different choices and die in different ways. The movie has this mechanic where things start over and they get to try again.
What just happened?
Every time they come back to life, it's like they're in a new horror genre. To survive, they have to make it until dawn.
Okay.
I'm kind of that looks cool.
That sound is a cabin in the woods kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Let's take a horror
Hello,
thing and twist it
YouTube.
on
Welcome
its edge.
in.
Whoa.
I fucking hate Andy.
All right.
Fucking hate him.
Can I admit something? As
You
I
hate
just
him
watched
too?
this?
Please.
Well,
Can we call
yeah, of
this
course.
Parris
We
has
know I
beef
hate-
with Andy?
Yeah, I hate Andy.
I was a huge fan of the Until.
See, there we go. That looked like it should have been on Tubi.
Thank you. That was the one. That was where I was going to go. Interesting concept, but something I've texted you before, Tim, is why is it sometimes I start a movie and I'm like, oh, immediately this doesn't look good. Like this doesn't look like it's going to be a major motion picture. That looks to me like that's going to be on Peacock, where I was going.
Yeah, budgets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the right move to make a movie at the low budget for
Sure.
this type of thing.
Sure.
Actually make the money back, be a success. I mean, I agree that but I feel like a lot of these horror movies have that vibe. And what did he direct before? Because I know he did Shazam, but then before that, like what got him Shazam was a bunch of really good horror movies. I'm gonna look this up.
This is why I'm not playing.
Who was the man? Who was the actor that I recognize?
Oh.
Annabelle
If
Lights
he
Out? People
made
are saying
his
Lights
bread
Out?
doing horror movies. I don't think he should have did Shazam. Maybe that's why it came out the way it did.
Annabelle Ouija Lights Out?
Yeah,
is what's
exactly.
coming up. Okay.
Yeah, some of the better Conjuring
Yeah.
movies. Yeah.
Again, what I'm saying is, at first glance, I was looking at it going like, meh. I don't like this doesn't look high quality, but then the concept seems cool. And one of the women in the movie, I was like, I recognize you from some picture I've seen before.
Peter Samari.
Of course, I know Peter.
Oh, John Wick. Okay, there we
Well,
go.
Fargo, but yeah.
I never saw Fargo.
Also, Big
Bad Boys
Lebowski.
too. Great.
They're nihilists, Donnie.
Yeah. I like the idea. I like the video gamification of it, of just like the coming back and all that. I think that's a smart way to do a video game movie.
Yeah, not
like
just
this.
making a horror movie. Like, here's the game that was inspired by horror movies, but since you're not making choices anymore, it's just a horror movie again. I like that idea. That's cool.
Yeah.
I wonder how how you wrap that up in a story.
different genres. They're saying kind of interested in that. What
Sure.
that could actually mean.
It's going to be like a Saw movie, like a Bigfoot movie, like an Annabelle movie. Like, I think you go that way. Yeah, those genres.
But does that feel appropriate for the Until Dawn universe? That seems a kind of a
yeah.
step away, right?
No, I totally think that seems. I mean, we're playing fast and loose here, right? When you just talked about Until Dawn, right? We're talking about Until Dawn and then what? 2 VR games. But I would say, really, we're talking about Supermassive, right? And we're talking about Supermassive, right? Every one of the Supermassive games kind of does jump genres and stuff and what it's doing with horror. What are you laughing at over here?
Cameron Kennedy just said, did you just say Bigfoot? One of the classic horror icons, Bigfoot.
You understood what I meant, though. Monsters. You know what's up. Come on now.
Yeah.
And Bigfoot's horrifying when you think about
So
it.
this movie's coming very, very soon. I think it's interesting that instead of dropping a trailer, they did drop this kind of like a little bit more behind the scenes. Let's explain what this is.
Hey, that's helpful, right? And get people like us on board so when we do see the trailer, we can explain it to somebody who's a novice to what Until Dawn is or hasn't been paying attention to the video game world.
Yeah. So far, I've liked, not loved, but liked, I think, all of the PlayStation movies that they've made. Uncharted,
Hold on.
Gran Turismo.
Hold on, I can hear it. The audience is calling for PlayStation in review.
They're
When
not.
are you going to give
They're
it?
simply not.
Gran Turismo, Uncharted,
We reviewed
Until
them.
Dawn. Let's go. Put them on the list. Let's rank them. Ragu bagu.
Oh,
Remember the bad guy from Gran Turismo? I sure don't, but I know there was somebody who was a bad racer, right? Or maybe they respected each other at the end. I forget what it was.
This movie's coming out April 25th. So yeah,
2 days before my birthday.
A little time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. We'll see. I'm hopeful.
I'm hopeful too. I think it's a very cool concept, and I think that's what I want out of a horror movie. I've watched a lot of horror movies that are not filmed like. Give me a good movie. I don't know what's a movie that people like.
People like
Schindler's List. I've seen a lot of horror movies that don't look like they're going to win an Oscar. You know what I mean? But it's like, okay, I can enjoy this and I get down the concept. This seems like a cool concept. I hope it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
That's
it.
All right. Good
Yeah,
talk.
they didn't give us much. I thought they were going to give us more to talk about, but cool.
I like the idea that they're bringing in the hourglass right from the logo. We don't see anybody really do anything with that. No.
Cool.
All right.
That's it for story number 1, everybody. Thank you, Greg.
This has been a fun show so far, guys.
Right.
Story number 2.
Get my water bottle.
Talk about how good dinner was.
Donkey Kong Country Returns HD gets a review roundup here. It has a Metacritic of 77 currently, OpenCritic of 78. Logan Plant at IGN gives it an 8 out of 10, saying Donkey Kong Country Returns HD is a passable remaster of an amazing platformer. More modern improvements and a larger graphical update would have been nice, but this is still one of the greatest 2D platformers Nintendo has released this century. Alex Only from Nintendo Life gave it a 7 out of 10. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD is a fine way to play the 2010 original, but it's also lacking any real reason for fans to double dip beyond waggle-free controls. It's less of a remaster and more of a port, to be honest, which would be all well and good if it wasn't being sold at such a premium. There's plenty of fun to be had, but we can't help but walk away from it with a slightly sour taste in our mouths. Our advice, grab the superior Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze instead. Steve Watts at GameSpot also gives it a 7 out of 10, saying the 2010 franchise revival gets a makeover and some modern conveniences, but while difficulty spikes make it tough to recommend for anyone but the most dedicated DKC fans. Parris, are you playing this? Do you have it yet?
No, I don't have it yet.
Have you played the original?
Yeah, I played original.
I am playing this. I am at the final boss right now. The final boss, very difficult if you remember. So kicked my ass a little too many times. But I would give Donkey Kong Country Returns HD a 7 out of 10 as well. I'm right there with IGN and GameSpot on this. I love the original, but only in the context of when it came out and the time and like platforming around it.
Right, exactly.
Mainly because Tropical Freeze, so much better in every single way, I think. And this game, the HD version, solves many of the issues that the original had. The issues being it was on the Wii. And Nintendo loved putting horrible gimmicks into games on the Wii that legitimately, I feel like almost across the board, you could remove the gimmick from the Wii game and it's a better game.
Yeah.
And age has shown that. And I think specifically with Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, mechanics like the blowing, where Donkey Kong just needs to blow on things. It's horrible. It's never fun in the game. It never feels good. It doesn't feel like it's doing anything useful for adding to the gameplay or the experience at all. So it still being there, kind of a bummer. The original game having waggle controls for the roll, one of the most bizarre gameplay choices for a precision platformer that I've ever experienced. So getting rid of that makes this game better just from the jump. But yeah, so what are your memories of playing Donkey Kong Country Returns, or the original?
I mean, I it's kind of like you said, I enjoyed it for the time because during that time period of the Wii, the waggle controls and all the gimmicks made sense because we had never really seen that before. But it got old pretty quick.
Yeah.
So to at least remove the waggle but keep that part, I like you said, 7 out of 10 sounds like what this should be. But it almost, excuse me, it almost feels like, hey, let's just get this remaster out because we know we're about to go to Switch 2 and about to do a bunch of different things. Let's just get it on that platform.
Yeah. So I'm conflicted in a lot of ways, like because I think that the quality of the game in terms of level design and what's actually here is higher than a 7 out of 10. But I do think that this package for this version in particular, the price,
the price is the big thing.
Absolutely outrageous. It does also add the original game came out on the Wii in 2010. Then they ported it to the 3DS and got rid of the waggle and added, I think, like 8 levels. This version looks better than both of those and includes all of the levels from both versions, which is great. In some ways, though, there's visual downgrades from the original Wii version. Some of the effects are gone. Like some of the coloring just doesn't feel authentic to what the original looked like. So not everything is better, but I'd say overall, this is the better looking game.
So it's, and I think you even saying it in the roundup, so it's kind of fair to say this is really more of a port where they fix some things that they could, but this isn't a true remaster of the game.
Yeah, I mean, The fact that the original was a Wii, and looking at this, like, there's no way to say it's not a remaster. It very much is. It's it's there in any way that you can graphically improve it compared to the Wii. Like, they did. It's just I don't think that every improvement actually is an improvement. You know what I mean? Like, just because something's technically better doesn't make it artistically better. And I think that that's something that is very true about a lot of Nintendo games. Couple interesting things here, though. Donkey Kong Country Returns was announced at the first E3 I ever went to, which is just crazy to think about the time. And then Parris, I realized how old I am because there's been less time between the original release of Donkey Kong Country 3 on the Super Nintendo to Donkey Kong Country Returns. 5,116 days.
Wow.
Than the original release of Donkey Kong Country Returns and this version right now.
Yeah.
Which is 5,169 days. Crazy stuff, man. I hate that. I hate that. Also, where's our new Donkey Kong Country games?
You know, it's funny driving in with Greg this morning. I was even saying and I know we're getting into Switch 2 news here, but that's what I want to see. I want a new Donkey Kong. I mean, it's time. Tropical Freeze was really Wii U, right?
2013.
Yeah. So that's 12 years. So yeah, it's time.
2014.
Yeah, I want a new Donkey Kong game.
It's man, and Tropical Freeze is absolutely amazing. And that's another thing. Tropical Freeze had David Wise, the composer of the original games, back and blew it out of the blew it out of the park. You get what I'm saying? Knocked it out of the park, blew it out of the water. This one didn't have David Wise. And the soundtrack still good, but does not hold a candle to Tropical Freeze. And I think that's kind of what the biggest problem about this game is, that Tropical Freeze exists and is cheaper. And I think that there's a ton of people, I know there's a ton of people out there that haven't even played Tropical Freeze.
Yeah.
And if you're choosing between the two, play Tropical Freeze. I think that's an absolute no-brainer from any perspective you look at. Having said that, there's a great game here. I think that this game represents
it's worth your time.
It's definitely worth your time. It's not worth $60.
Yeah.
But it is definitely worth your time. It is brutally difficult in a lot of ways, to an extent that they didn't need to go that hard. Like, most of the game feels very modern compared to the original games, where it is a little easier, a little bit more about the adventure than anything. But then you get to a certain point, and some of the levels are just frustratingly difficult. And I can see a lot of people kind of giving up on the game and not like just putting down, being like, I'm not having fun anymore because of these barrel rocket levels. Very Flappy Bird inspired, which is not necessarily what you want from a game of this prestige, right? Some of the boss fights very uneven. Some of them are very cool and interesting, but I feel like over half of them are probably like, didn't really enjoy my time with that. Let me get back to the platforming levels, because the platforming levels are great. This comes from an era where I feel like the birth of the cinematic 2D platformer kind of started. And this game is a great example of it. Like, it's every single level has its own unique locations and vistas and ways that you're like platforms you're interacting with, and enemy variety and just gimmicks, but in a good way. And I really feel like the team over at Retro back then played like the Uncharted games, the original Uncharted games. Are like, okay, but what if we added that energy to a Donkey Kong game? And what I really love about Returns in particular is things like you're seeing right here. He's a giant ape. They treat him like an ape. You know, he's not just a plumber jumping around on things. It's like, just because there's similarities with other platformers, like there's a bigger emphasis on like grabbing and climbing and swinging and things like that, that I just feel like really kind of, you can see the love that Retro had after making the Metroid Prime series and just being like, all right, we took a 2D Metroidvania, like exploration-based game,
3D.
and how do we turn that into a 3D adventure, but keep the spirit of it? With this, you could really tell they're like, all right, how do we keep the what made the Donkey Kong Country games so special and what they were, the essence of them, but how do we make it more modern and actually like lean into what Donkey Kong can uniquely bring to gameplay? And they did a great job with it. And playing this game, for as many faults as I have with this version of it and the price and all that stuff, the actual game design is impeccable.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking like, man, I can't wait to see what Retro does next. Yeah. Like Metroid Prime 4, like we're supposedly getting it this year. Like the team over there just gets creativity and gameplay so much better than most other developers that I can't wait to see anything that they work on. But anyways, it's great to go back to one of these platformers because this is a classic at this point, and I do love it. I just think that it is a really good example of sometimes when a better version comes out later, it can kind of take the place of it and feel like, all right, Tropical Freeze is a must play. This is if you really like Tropical Freeze, maybe you get this on sale and play through it later type deal.
So do you think this is, and I agree with everything you're saying, but you think this is more of a thing of Nintendo looking at a game like this, they don't want it to be lost to that era. Let's bring it to this era because it still holds up. I agree with you on price. I think it probably should have been like $39.99 or something like that.
Yep.
But at least now it's on the platform. So now, even when we go into Switch 2 with the backwards compatibility, you're going to be able to pick this up in a few years and keep playing.
Look, I'm personally, Tim Geddes, I'm very happy that this game is on the Switch. I think that it is a great classic platformer. ZOVGM says, I think this is still a must play, but Tropical Freeze is just a perfect game. Trust me, I have so much love for this game, but playing through it, I've been bouncing back and forth just to go like to Tropical Freeze, and it's like it's crazy how much better Tropical Freeze is. Like, I don't even think that there's a question in terms of bosses, in terms of like even the things this game does great. Tropical Freeze just does that much better. But yeah, I agree with you that in terms of the game preservation, it's awesome, and I want to see, because I wouldn't want this game stuck on the 3DS or even worse, the Wii with its waggle controls and stuff. So yeah, like that's awesome. But the pricing structure is just totally out of whack for what they're offering here. And I also think that there were some things that they could have like improved even more. Like they add a modern mode that kind of can make things a little easier for people. But the Nintendo games are really good at adding a ton of options to make the games accessible to people of all ages or anything to be able to play through. And I feel like they could have even went harder with making this easier for some people, because some of these levels are just absolutely brutal. But anyway, that's Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Story number 3 is something we're going to talk about right after a word from our sponsors. This episode's brought to you by MeUndies. At some point in our illustrious love lives, we've all asked our partner the same age-old question that guys have probably been asking for thousands of years. Am I big? While MeUndies doesn't know the actual answer to that, or if your partner gave you the actual truth, this Valentine's Day, they can help you look huge with their contoured pouch and ball caddy. Choose from tons of awesome Valentine's Day prints and styles, and match undies with your special someone for an extra special holiday treat. From all black classics to fun, expressive prints, MeUndies has a look for everyone. Y'all know I love MeUndies. All my black t-shirts are MeUndies, including this one I'm wearing right now. Try MeUndies out, and if you're not happy with your first pair of undies, it's on MeUndies. This Valentine's Day, good things come in big packages at MeUndies. Get 20% off your first order plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/kindafunny. That's MeUndies.com/kindafunny for 20% off plus free shipping. MeUndies, comfort from the outside in. This episode's brought to you by ExpressVPN. Going online without ExpressVPN is like not closing the door when you use the bathroom. Even if you think you have nothing to hide, why give random creeps a chance to invade your privacy? Internet service providers, including mobile network providers, know every single website you visit. ExpressVPN reroutes 100% of your traffic through secure encrypted servers, so your ISP can't see your browsing history. It hides your IP address, so it's even harder for third parties to track your online life. It's so easy to use. You just fire up the app and one click gets you protection, and it also works on phones, laptops, and more. I use ExpressVPN everywhere because it gives me so much peace of mind that I can explore the internet safely. Protect your online privacy today by visiting expressvpn.com/kindafunny. That's EXPRESSVPN.com/kindafunny, and you can get an extra 4 months free. expressvpn.com/kindafunny for an extra 4 months free. This episode's brought to you by BetterHelp. What do you want your 2025 story to be? Every January brings you 365 blank pages waiting to be filled in. In 2025, maybe you're ready for a plot twist, or maybe there's part of your story you've been wanting to revise. Life isn't about resolutions that fade by February. It's about picking up the pen and becoming the author of your own life. Think of therapy as your editorial partner, helping you write new chapters and create the meaningful story you deserve to live. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. And it serves over 5 million people worldwide. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/kindafunny to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindafunny. BetterHelp.com/kindafunny. And we are back, everybody, with story number 3. Close the tab. I'm having a bad day, y'all. I apologize. I don't know why. I was just saying, like, my brain's not hitting the fucking right shit it needs to. Even in that statement. What the hell did I just say? Story number 3, everyone, is Assassin's Creed games and Metal Gear Solid Delta are tipped for a Switch 2 release. So many Switch rumors, Parris.
Oh, yeah.
What an exciting time. This comes from Tom Ivan at VGC. Ubisoft is reportedly working on half a dozen Switch 2 games, while Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater has also been tipped for release on Nintendo's unannounced console. That's according to industry insider Nate the Hate, who has a strong track record of breaking news prior to its official announcement. The latest episode of their podcast claims Nintendo Switch 2 will be revealed this Thursday, January 16th, ahead of a possible launch in May or June 2025. It goes on to discuss a number of third-party games reportedly set to be released for the console, including Final Fantasy VII Remake in 2025 and its sequel Rebirth in 2026. One title that will be there within the launch window comes from Ubisoft, and it's going to be Assassin's Creed Mirage. Assassin's Creed Shadows, which will be released for PS5, Xbox Series, and PC in March following a recent delay, is expected to come to Switch 2 at a later date. Quote, to my understanding, Assassin's Creed Shadows is one of those in development ports. It just won't be ready for launch, and it probably won't be ready for the launch window, it was claimed. I've been told that Ubisoft's doing more than half a dozen games for the Switch 2, and a lot of them are going to be late ports. These are from a range of franchises like The Division and Rainbow Six Siege. There was also some discussion and consideration of doing a Mario Rabbids collection, so it would have 1 and 2 in a single package. Some other third-party games I've heard include Metal Gear Solid Delta, which is coming out in 2025. Right now, it lacks a release date for all platforms, and I'm hopeful that maybe it's a day-and-date release when it does come to Switch 2, because if that game, let's say, comes out in the summer of 2025, there's no reason it shouldn't be day-and-date. Where do you want to start?
I'm excited for the Switch 2, and a lot of it comes down to that you're hearing these third-party publishers committing to it. So, of course, we know we're going to get an amazing first-party lineup for the Switch 2, but to see that Ubisoft is bringing the Assassin's Creed games there, Metal Gear's going to potentially be coming there, along with, I know there's rumors about Xbox and the stuff that they're going to bring there as well. It's exciting. It tells me it's probably going to be more powerful than we realize. Or they're doing some magic under the hood with NVIDIA and DLSS or whatever. But we're gonna get a lot of games. Like, it's almost crazy to think the Switch 2 might be the console of when it comes out this year. Like, that's where all the games are going. That's going to be the thing, the must-have hardware to have, because all the games are going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, that's Nintendo, baby.
Yeah.
It is interesting. Like, I do think that it's going to be. I've been saying for a while, like, I think that we're going to be getting a lot of the third-party games on Switch. I keep championing Elden Ring. I think will be there, and I think it'll be a big deal for Nintendo. But I don't think it's going to be like. I still think at the end of the day, it's going to be the least powerful system.
Oh,
and
of course.
Still,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's still going to not be the place that people that are already on PS5 or Xbox are going to want to play these third-party games.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is a very, very large audience that we clearly see of Switch owners that don't own the other consoles that now might play Metal Gear Solid or some of these Ubisoft games or whatever. Very interested to see how they run, what it looks like, and if the DLSS and all that stuff can actually get things where they need to be. I'm hopeful, though. I feel like where the timing of the Switch 2 coming out is a good place in terms of technology, in terms of where the advancing techs are, and being so far into this like handheld race that we are, and Nintendo obviously having such a leg up in consumer base and also just kind of outputs where they've had with this success of the Nintendo Switch since 2017. I think it's a great time. Metal Gear Solid, that would be rad to have, right? And even just the support of Ubisoft. Ubisoft traditionally has supported Nintendo consoles, like I mean, infamously, right? Even the Wii U, right? We did get Zombie U as a launch title. And in addition to that, they did put Assassin's Creed 3 and like all those era games. So I feel like the Ubisoft's not so much a surprise, but even thinking about it, Assassin's Creed Mirage, that does give us an idea of the power.
Yeah, and that's my thinking.
Right? Yeah.
And the fact that they're talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth coming there, And then even Assassin's Creed Shadow, right?
Exactly.
And they say it as well. So it tells me, look, like you said, it's going to be the least powerful. We understand that. There'll probably be some degradation of visual quality or fidelity. But the thing that excites me the most would be, from a third-party standpoint, is we know Ubisoft already supports it. We know Xbox is starting to support it as well, is these cross-platform saves. So let's say I am playing Assassin's Creed on my PC, and I'm about to leave and go somewhere, I can pick up my progress and take it with me on the go with the Switch too. That'll be highly appealing for a lot of third-party games, in my opinion.
Yeah. And there's so much exciting stuff coming from this. And I do think that it's very important to look at third parties and Nintendo, and just the fact that this might be the first time since the GameCube there's been any level of parity between PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo in terms of game releases. And with the success that the Switch has had and continues to have. I mean, even just putting out Donkey Kong Country Returns now, like they've been putting out games constantly throughout the last year and a half, way longer than I expected. But I am of the camp now, like I keep seeing online people getting upset at Nintendo for not announcing the Switch 2. And I just think that's kind of silly, where it's just like, yo, we know it's coming. Like they're still putting the games out for the Switch. I'm ready for the new hardware. There's nothing I'm more excited for than the Switch 2.
Completely agree.
But it's like,
I do get some of it, because I'm guilty of it as well, in the sense that, look, we know Nintendo's on their own time. They're going to announce it when they want, because it doesn't matter. We're all going to buy it anyways, right? But I don't like finding out all this info through leaks. I wish there weren't. It really just comes down to the leaks. I wish there weren't leaks. So the fact that we've seen the motherboard now, obviously Nate DeHaye announced all this game stuff. It's like, man, I really wish we would have gotten that in a presentation versus getting that through a forum leak or whatever it was, a podcast.
Yeah, me too, for sure. But I also just feel like at the end of the day, like that stuff isn't the exciting stuff.
No, it's,
you know what I mean? Like
not.
the exciting stuff's going to be seeing the next 3D Mario and all that.
Oh, yeah.
So,
oh my God.
but yeah, no, we might be 2 days away from a Switch 2 announcement, so I'm very, very excited. Stay tuned here. Obviously, if anything is announced, Kinda Funny is going to be here reacting and going freaking crazy, I'm sure. We got some super chats here. DJ Kento says, do you think the Switch 2 will get Cyberpunk? And if so, run it better than Steam Deck? I do think it'll get Cyberpunk.
I do too.
I don't think it'll run better than Steam Deck.
No.
I mean...
No, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
But I mean, because think about it, The Witcher 3 is on the original Switch.
Exactly.
So I would imagine that they'd get Cyberpunk running on there.
Story number 4. Microsoft is reportedly going to reveal a new entry in a legendary Japanese franchise next week. This comes from George Yang at GameSpot. Microsoft is reportedly announcing a new entry in a, quote, legendary Japanese IP during its Xbox Developer Direct on January 23rd. Along with this new game, Microsoft will also show off Doom the Dark Ages, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and South of Midnight. According to Windows Central, this IP has decades of history and should make a lot of fans happy. The phrasing is rather vague, so fans have been speculating what the game could be. I am very excited for multiple reasons. I think Xbox has done a great job with its developer directs. I feel like every year has something cool or interesting, and I like that they're continuing it here, straight up saying, hey, you're getting a big game announcement, like a returning game announcement. Cool, let the speculation begin. But on top of that, confirmed South of Midnight, Expedition 33, Doom the Dark Ages, games that we're excited about. Like, we're going to get to see more. That's very, very cool.
Oh, completely agree. I mean, I got to see South of Midnight already, so I think people definitely should put that on their radar. Doom is Doom.
Yeah.
We already know that's going to be amazing. That Expedition 33 really caught me by surprise when we got to see that. So definitely looking to hear more about that. And then this mystery game that's coming out, Japanese origin, whatever, obviously whatever the rumors are saying. Let's see.
I mean,
I don't think I would set expectations that it's not going to be the super major big thing, but I think it'll be a pleasant surprise. Like people are like, oh, okay, I can't wait to play this kind of thing,
Yeah. I mean, like that's the thing. Like there's so many things it could be.
Yeah.
Legendary Japanese IP, new entry. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Endless.
Yeah. What does that mean?
A Final Fantasy, a Dragon Quest, a Resident Evil, the Ninja Gaiden. Like there's so many things that it could be.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I like it too because like I feel like this being an Xbox developer direct, like I don't expect it to be Kingdom Hearts 4. Like I don't think that it's going to be the biggest thing of all time for what this could be, but I do and that already was announced. But I think it's going to be exciting to a group of people. And at the end of the day, that's really all you can ask for is like, because the worst thing is when it's like, well, who's this for? You know, my gut tells me whatever this is going to be, we're going to know who it's for.
Now, I doubt this is it, but I would love, because they said it's unannounced Japanese IP, I would love for Xbox to go back into their own lineage, bring back Lost Odyssey, bring back a Blue Dragon, something like that. I would love to see something like that. I don't think it's going to be, but
do you think that would hit for people?
I think it would for legacy Xbox people that have been around since the 360. It would.
Correct me. Were those games well received?
I think Lost Odyssey was. Blue Dragon was kind of hit or miss.
Yeah. Okay. That would be interesting. Yeah. I mean, especially with where Xbox is at currently, of like they have so much IP.
Yeah, they got so much IP, but the one thing with Xbox that they still haven't completely nailed is more Japanese IPs on that platform. I mean, I know that's something I talked to Phil Spencer like 5 years ago about that, and that was something that was very important to him, which then they get tangled and they close it, so it's like, what the hell? But yeah, they need more Japanese IPs on Xbox. I think that'd be very well received.
I mean, look, legendary Japanese IP, new entry, I feel like one of the go-tos right now, just thinking about, okay, what could it be and what are we expecting? What are we waiting for an announcement of? Persona 6.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think is the easiest jump to point. They're not going to do that here.
No.
Persona 6, like, especially after Metaphor and everything, like Persona 6 would be, I think,
that's a showcase,
premier placement type thing, right? But again, going back to the placement of it all, like last time we had a developer direct, I think we got some Indiana Jones stuff. Like,
we did.
And here we're getting South of Midnight and Doom. Like, I really like that these don't just need to be the smaller titles. It's cool when it is smaller titles like Pentiments and things like that. But I mean, to be getting an update on, I just love that Xbox has enough stuff to talk about throughout the year at this point that they can have things that aren't just the summer showcase we all expect major announcements, but we're still getting announcements in January.
Yeah, no, it's cool because last year was Avowed, Indiana Jones, I think it was Aura History Untold, and then I know it was Visions of Mana, and I'm missing something else. It was another game too. So I think they had 5 last year. That was great. I mean, obviously, Avowed got delayed and it's coming out next month, but yeah, those were major titles that they were able to show. Think about even this year. We know the Outer Worlds 2 because I drafted it. Is coming this year. It's not in this dev direct.
Yeah.
We know Fable is coming this year because I drafted it. It's not in this dev direct. You know, they got Call of Duty and all that stuff. So they got a ton of IP.
I am most excited for South of Midnight.
I am too.
Everything I've seen of that game, I'm like, oh, this looks
really good. Again, full disclosure, I went to Compulsion. I got to sit down with the team, got to see the game, got to talk to the game director, the whole team, all that. They're very passionate about it, and it looks like this is a love letter to the Deep South. That's what this game is. All the folklore, the legends, everything of the Deep South is what South of Midnight's going to be. The artwork is incredible in it. The music is fantastic. Even just the basic sounds, like they went down there and captured like the sounds of the South. Like when they were showing it to us, and I go, "Oh yeah, that sounds like something," because I grew up in the South.
That's
know what I mean? It's going to be good. I think people should definitely have it on their radar. I am hoping it comes the first half of this year. I kind of think it will.
You said that at some
the other day.
Oh my god, that excites me.
Yeah,
because for some reason I was surprised when you even got to go see it. I was like, oh, when I've seen this game,
I was surprised.
The past, I was like, I thought that it was going to be like way down the line.
Yeah,
like I thought it was like, hey, look at this game we're working on, but it's like, no, okay, cool, we're getting close. So we in the chat saying April. I mean, man.
I mean that wouldn't shock me.
Like a great time.
That wouldn't shock me at all because what I got to see playable, I mean, it looked ready. I mean, a couple quirk here or there, but it was very playable to the fact that I'm like, oh man, this game's coming soon. Yeah. That was my first thought when I saw it.
Very cool. Robbie Rob super chats in and saying Sonic is a legendary Japanese franchise. It's not going to be Sonic. Sonic has more than enough places to do their own announcements at this point, like their Sonic Centrals and all that. So, and also we just literally got Sonic Shadow Generations. Like, I think we're a little off from the next announcement of a Sonic game. Apples Dude 123 says a new Castlevania. I think it's about that time. It's always about that time. You know what I mean? One day we're gonna get a Castlevania. I don't think this one's gonna be Castlevania.
That's still Konami, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that is legendary Japanese IP, though. God, that could mean so many different things. Trying to think of like what I hope it is. I mean, at the end of the day, I hope that it's something I'm interested in. And there's a ton of things that could be. But like, if it's Dragon Quest, I'm like, cool. I'm happy for you, Jared Petty, but I'm not happy for me.
Right.
You know? Let's move on to story number 5. The Witcher 3 director reveals new open world RPG, The Blood of Dawnwalker. This comes from Andy Robinson at VGC. A group of lead developers behind The Witcher 3 have revealed their new RPG, The Blood of Dawnwalker, developed by a new Polish studio, Rebel Wolves, which is cool as hell, and published by Bandai Namco. The Blood of Dawnwalker is described as a single-player, open-world, dark fantasy action RPG. What a genre!
I'm all in on this. I mean, getting to see this early reveal on it, looking at the lineage of the people that are making it, sign me up. I'm day one for me.
And has a strong focus on story and narrative. The game's being developed with Unreal Engine 5 for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. A debut trailer was published on Monday with the full gameplay reveal planned for the summer. You play as Cohen, a young man turned into a Dawnwalker, forever treading the line between the world of day and the realm of night. Synopsis for the game reads: use your skills and combine vampiric strength with human resolve as you take on a quest to save the ones you love. Face your foes, be they human, monster, or the ticking clock itself. But remember, the real evil may bask in the sun's light, and the most loyal of allies could lurk under the cover of night. Rebel Wolves is helmed by The Witcher 3's game director and head of production / secondary game director for Cyberpunk 2077. The game director is joined at his new Warsaw, Poland-based studio by Witcher 3's art director, as well as a writer for Witcher 3, Cyberpunk 2077, and Thronebreaker, a design director for Witcher 1, and an animation director for Witcher 3. I mean, kind of an all-star team.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen this happen a couple times where, like, very, very established members of incredible teams leave to do their own thing that's very similar, almost a spiritual, not successor, but like in the vein of their previous work. And we haven't seen too many examples of it succeeding yet, which is
that's true.
Which is a bummer because I just think that, like, you know, there's a lot of things that go into it, whether it's budget, resources of when you're known for making a game this big and then you make a game that tries to be that big, it can kind of cause some issues. But I think that it's good that this is backed by Bandai Namco. I feel like there's this, what we're hearing and seeing so far seems like there's a bit more buy-in for it all.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, again, full disclosure, they had reached out to me a few weeks ago about this, so I knew this was coming. But to your point, you have the people that made The Witcher 3, worked on Cyberpunk over at CDPR doing this. You can even see in this that they're definitely taking some elements of The Witcher and putting this in there, but then they're trying to spin it out into its own unique thing with the day-night, vampires, and all that. I guess the full gameplay reveal is going to be the summer, they said, so I'm assuming probably Summer Game Fest or something like that.
Yeah, this really feels like a Keeley event type.
Yeah,
type
but
reveal.
This looks like big AAA RPG open world. I mean, hey, like you said, they don't all hit. I mean, Callisto Protocol is just screaming at me right now because you just thought that was going to be a layup, right? So hopefully they're able to nail the gameplay on this. It has a great story. And again, the people making it know what they're doing. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I hope it's big, though, Parris.
Yeah.
I hope it's
me
real
too.
big. It's good. Specifically, I need to ask, am I big? But that's a question for another time. If I was looking for something small, Parris, where would I look?
You would go to our last story, the We News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
I will not apologize for the MeUndies ad, by the way. It is one of my favorite things ever. The Witcher, Sirens of the Deep's coming to Netflix on February 11th. What is this? Is this an anime spin-off of the Netflix Witcher show?
I think so.
Yeah. I don't know. Just looking at the name, I'm like, that's what that sounds like.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's anime. Yeah.
Everhood 2 launches March 4th on Nintendo Switch and PC. The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker original soundtrack's now available on Nintendo Music. I'm still loving Nintendo Music, Parris. Like, this drip feed's getting me because I'm like, you know what I'm listening to today? Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It just gives me an excuse to whatever they release. I'm like, I guess I'm going back. Dragon Roost Island.
Question,
everybody.
is Wind Waker on the Switch?
No.
It probably will be soon.
It's criminally not on the Switch.
Yeah.
It's that and Twilight Princess, which got HD remakes or ports, whatever, on the Wii U.
Yeah.
Those are pretty much 2 of the last, 5 Wii U games that have not made their way to the Switch. We got those. Xenoblade Chronicles X, but they're remedying that. That's coming out. Nintendo Land, NES Remix, and I think that's it.
Mhm.
Let me know if I'm wrong, everybody. Well, Star Fox Zero, but let's let that fucking thing die. God, I don't think there's a game I have more beef with than Star Fox Zero in the history of video games. Star Fox, one of my favorite franchises.
Same.
And they just,
I know.
that's what they did. Megagon Industries has announced a January 21st, 2025 release date for Lonely Mountain Snow Riders on Xbox Game Pass. Snowbike Mike is hype. Blizzard announced today the next season for Diablo 4 is Season of Witchcraft, starting January 21st. 2K has announced PGA Tour 2K25 for Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and Steam. The standard edition of the game will be released worldwide on February 28th, 2025. And that's it.
All right.
Yeah. Let's do You're Wrong. Let's see what we got wrong.
Nothing.
Yeah, we got a couple things, but I doubt it. Let's see. All right, we got I appreciate this. We got a You're Wrong that then You're Wronged themselves for being wrong about the You're Wrong. Drew writes in to say David Wise did actually work on at least a couple of tracks on Donkey Kong Country Returns, and then he replies, "Nope, Tim was right. Never mind."
That's awesome.
But I think what he was saying was that a lot of the songs were originally composed by David Wise because they were just arrangements of the Super Nintendo music in the new one. Robbie Rob says, for the power of the Switch 2 and Assassin's Creed Mirage, the game does run on iOS devices with the iPhone 15. Same with Capcom games like Resident Evil 4 and Kojima's Death Stranding. The thing about the iPhone comparison to me doesn't fully add up because the iPhone is like $1,000 plus device that like, look, I'm a fucking idiot, but I'm pretty sure my iPhone's more powerful than my Switch by like a long shot, right? Like that's just how that works.
I mean, hell, it can run Resident Evil 7 native.
Yeah. It's like, it's iPhones are very, very powerful and very costly. The fifth game at last year's Developer Direct Parris was missing was Hellblade 2.
There you go.
That's
I knew I
right.
was forgetting something.
Yeah. There we go.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Are we just efficient? Because I feel like we didn't even go all the way to the end of the hour.
Oh, we still got some super chats.
Okay.
To get to.
All right.
Yeah, we're hanging out, Parris. And also, is there anything you want to talk about?
I mean, let me ask you this. Because we're talking about the Switch 2 stuff. Like, my hype level is really growing. I truly hope this thing gets revealed this week, and then they'll probably do some big game reveal later on. What is the game? Not that it has to come at launch, but what is the game that you're looking forward to on Switch 2?
I mean, I am a Nintendo fanboy through and through my entire life. Like I said, I am not even close to as excited for anything as I am the Switch 2 being shown. I'm just, it's easy. My whole thing with Switch 2 is don't get cute. Just keep doing what's working.
That's what I say.
So with 100%.
That,
Mario Kart, Mario 3D, like those are the things. Seeing a new Mario Kart is going to get me incredibly excited. And because it's funny, like we look back at the different generations of Nintendo, and I remember going from the Wii to the Wii U, and when it was confusing and all that stuff, to me, I'm like, but at least it's HD. I love Nintendo and I love tech, and I hate how behind they are on everything. But that jump to HD, I'm like, I'm gonna get to play Smash Brothers in HD. It's not gonna look like Brawl that's all fucking muddy and just shitty looking. It's like it's gonna be crisp and 1080, and I can't freaking wait for that. And then imagining, oh my god, we're gonna get a 3D Mario game that's like in 1080. We're gonna get a Smash Brothers, a Mario Kart, a Metroid, and we didn't get a lot of those things. We got Mario Kart. We got Mario 3D World, which is one of my favorite ones, but it's not like Odyssey, right? It's not what we expected to get from the follow up to Galaxy, and then we never even got the Metroid. We never got the Metroid for years. It's like, oh, Retro's gonna put out Metroid, and they put out Tropical Freeze, which I love, but it wasn't Metroid.
Right.
We're now getting Metroid.
Yes, we are.
So I'm just like, all right, the things are all finally happening, and at this point, it's like, all right, we're well into Nintendo being 1080. Not always, but like, to me, it's just like keep doing what you're doing. Play the hits. That's what I want from Nintendo. There's going to be a lot of surprises because that's what Nintendo does too. Yeah,
completely agree. I mean, my thing is, everyone's always wants Nintendo to innovate something because obviously they've done it over the years. Their track record is immaculate when it comes to that. I don't think they need to do that this time. I think you cracked the code. You created a handheld device that can play AAA games, but it also can be docked and played on your television. It works. Clearly, it's being cloned all around the industry at this point. Just give me a more powerful version of that. Continue these games that you're talking about. Mine, it's 3D Mario. I personally, as much as I love Odyssey, it wasn't the follow-up that I wanted from Galaxy. And I hope we get what they're not going to call it Galaxy 3, but I hope we get the true successor to Galaxy.
I mean,
that's what I want.
It was our game of the year, Astrobot. Right? I mean, real talk though. Like Astrobot is more a Galaxy sequel than like Odyssey is very much more like a Mario 64 sequel.
Yes.
And I love it all. You know what I mean?
No,
So,
and that's what I mean.
Like,
I love it all. I'm not complaining. Even if they just did a follow up to Odyssey, I'm not going to be upset by that. But I want that Galaxy 3. I will never forget the first time I played Galaxy.
Oh my God.
And I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And I just want more of it. So that would probably be my most anticipated. I'm assuming we'll at least see it. I'm leaning towards it's not at launch. I think it'll be later, but that's the game I want to see. And to your point about Kart, I mean, Kart obviously day one.
I mean, that's my thing is I'm firmly a 3D Mario at launch believer at this point.
Yeah.
But it's either going to be Mario Kart or,
it's going to be one
Mario. But like it's the evidence is stacking against me where I'm like, I think it's going to be Mario Kart just based on what people are saying.
Yeah.
In my heart, though, I think it should be 3D Mario. But hey, we're going to find out hopefully soon. I mean, soon no matter what. Like, even if it's not this week, we're going to find out by the end of March, they're saying. So, I keep saying this, but I don't know if you've heard me say it. My prediction for the 3D Mario is that it's going to be a Mario Donkey Kong joint. Like, I think
I won't be mad at that.
it'll be like a 3D Mario Donkey Kong adventure. They have the theme parks.
Yeah.
The movie now
Obviously
features
the
them
movie.
as if they're all
Yes.
together. It's like, it just makes sense. It adds up. Besides those games, is there any other one that you're like, that's what I'm hoping for and that's what I want to see?
I mean, Metroid obviously is on that list. Now, I have a deep cut. I would love to see them bring back, and they're probably not going to bring it back. I would love to see them bring back Kid Icarus.
Well, so that's the other thing. We're talking about Wii U ports. Kid Icarus Uprising on the 3DS. I hate that it's stranded there.
Yeah.
Fantastic game that would make so much sense on the Switch. And I feel like it's inevitable. Like, it's going to happen. I just don't know when. I don't think that needs to be like a launch game.
No. And that's what I mean.
But I mean, it being a port, like, I'm surprised actually that we didn't get it in this final run of the Switch.
Yeah.
And it's not too late. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Kid Icarus Uprising Switch port that it's backwards compatible with Switch 2, but they're still going to be putting out Switch games. And then, Chris H says Fire Emblem. Yeah, I'm still convinced we're going to get those Fire Emblem, I think it was 3 and 4 remakes or whatever. Like, we're about to get a whole bunch of stuff. So very excited.
And I'm not crazy. Galaxy 1 and 2 are not on the Switch, right?
Galaxy 1 is.
Is it like in the
Mario
shop
3D,
or whatever?
No.
What is
Parris.
it? Yeah.
You want to just buy a Nintendo game on a Nintendo system? What are you talking about? No. It's in Mario 3D All-Stars, which was only available for like 3 months, and then they delisted it.
That's why I didn't know.
You fucking idiots, Nintendo.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
One of the most bizarre choices they've ever made. Like, the game sold incredibly well, and it would just keep selling well.
Yeah, it would.
It's not like, it only sold well because it was a limited thing. What the hell are they... The weirdest of weird
Tim,
Nintendo
the anniversary is over.
But it was not like...
It's over!
They didn't even have it for the whole year.
Yeah.
3D All-Stars had 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy 1, but Galaxy 2 never got ported.
Are you a
which
Sunshine
we both
guy?
Agree. I love Sunshine, but I mean,
don't.
I know, neither does Andy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the worst of the 3D
Yeah,
Marios by far, but I still love it.
It's a great time. It's a
Great time. Yeah, broken as all shit, but like, great time. But the we can agree Galaxy 2 is better than Galaxy 1, correct? There we go.
Because they learned. They learned. They got lessons learned. They made it even better.
Yeah.
That's why I want a Galaxy 3. It's like, give me that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And that's it, everybody, for Kinda Funny Games Daily. What a fun day. And it's just beginning. You're about to get Parris and Greg's personal top 10 list for Game of the Year. Strap in for Parris's number 7, y'all. It's going to be an adventure. I don't know what it is, but I think I know what it is. Anyway, Parris, always a joy to hang out with you. I'm glad that we've squashed the beef.
Yes, we squashed the beef.
Hang out with us all day. We're doing Gamescast. After that, we're going to be doing the super fun movie game stream with Roger, Nick, and Joey. You're going to want to see that. But until next time, I love you all. Goodbye.